Another day in paradise. Ocean man, ocean man. Ocean mon, ocean mon. I'm like Tim Pool with the beanie on my head. I don't like Tim Pool. Want to see the beanie dead. Let me see. Let me see. Where are we going? Where are we going? Is anyone here? How's it going? Is anyone in the chat to talk to me for 10 minutes? What's up? Trump is a what? I don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Trump is a fascist. Trump is a fascist. Trump is a fascist person. I'm here. You're here. Nice. Nice. Very cool. That's awesome. It really says Trump is bad. Haha. Yeah, brother. Do you hate Trump? How can I hate a genius like Trump? He's done so much for our country. Like, cry and whine and be a little baby boy. Who else could be a little baby boy as much as Donald Trump? Like, hi Kelly. Hi Vandred. Trump breaks his own record for lowest approval rating in the first 100 days. That is true. That's kind of crazy. It's hard to do that. It's hard to beat your own record for being bad, right? It's hard to beat it. I like videos like this. So the video's title is Why Republicans Came to a Bernie Sanders Rally. Good presentation.
I'm sure there's a lot of things you disagree with Senator Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on. Is there anything you agree with them on?
I think that they believe in this country. I like politically.
Wait, he came to the Bernie Sanders AOC rally with a MAGA hat on, with a white MAGA hat and an American flag shirt, and they think Bernie Sanders and AOC believe in America? That's, you know what? We'll take it.
We have a different method in why we believe and how we want to get it. But I don't doubt that they don't.
You know what? I appreciate that, though. I hate it when people divide everyone. They say, oh, you hate America. You're not a patriot if you say that. Nationalism is not patriotism. Nationalism does not mean you love America. You only love America if it's what you want it to be. If America is exactly, it looks like you, it acts like you, it talks like you, that's nationalism. But this guy's a patriot right here.
I care about the country.
I came down here to understand, essentially. I want very much to see the Democratic Party come back strong. As far as Sanders is concerned, ideologically, I don't align with him. However, he's proven to be an able politician. Okay, he has also too done what he could as a senator to keep us from being engaged in too many wars. So I certainly would go ahead and give him credit for that.
By the way, the popularity of Israel is at an extremely low level. And I saw the ADL director on TV today talking about how it's okay to violate the Constitution as long as you're cracking down on anyone who's pro-Palestinian. And I'm like, bro, if you're going to keep on going on college campuses and using a battering ram to knock down random college kids' dorms for having speech you disagree with no criminal charges other than you said something the government doesn't like that they deemed un-American and anti-Semitic, if they're going to keep on doing that and abusing these powers and locking people up and going with unmarked vans and face masking on to get these college girls and whoever else for writing freaking op-eds, if they're going to keep doing that, Israel's popularity is going to keep on going down. I'm just saying they're not helping them. They're not helping themselves at all.
Again, his vision of the country and mine do differ. But the fact that they're here and they're willing to go ahead and explain their position to people, I believe is important. I think it's going to lead to understanding.
That's a big thing, too. I saw Pete Buttigieg on that podcast with Andrew Schultz, the really annoying podcast. But the comment section loved Pete Buttigieg. And it's a big thing that consultants would not really like. Consultants are stupid. It's really good to go where viewers are. You know, people are listening to podcasts for 2, 3, 4 hours. Some dumb podcasts. You're not going to agree with the people they listen to all the time. But you need to go there because they listen for hours and hours when they're at work. Working class people live on podcasts. I mean, it's not even a joke that podcasts will save someone's freaking life when they're going through their workday. And Democrats need to go where people are. And that's part of it, is reaching out to people.
It's going to lead to more discussion.
This is the first Politico I've ever gone to. I worked in agriculture, and we're going to lose a lot. Nobody's talking about hardly, but we're going to lose a lot of markets probably, because once other countries don't buy here, they're going to buy from Argentina, Brazil, top 1 and 2 corn and soybean, and it's going to hurt the farmers.
Corn and soybean.
It's something like I've taught my children. When someone lies all the time, you never know when they're lying and when they're not. And we have a good case of that right now with Mr. Trump. And,
What's up, Kyle?
Bernie Sanders, I like him because
Chilling, waiting horizontal.
he's recognizing things a lot of people aren't. He's bringing it out, and he's working hard. He doesn't have to do this. He's working hard to help people understand what's going on.
Yeah, think about that. Bernie Sanders is doing this entire tour when he has no electoral future. He's doing it because he loves America, because he loves the things he fights for, and people see that as very genuine. And I mean, look at the Democratic Party and every political party. No one talks about poverty. No one talks about poor people. I mean, we talk about, saying unhoused instead of homeless, but we never talk about poor people. We say the middle class, middle class, middle class. We do focus testing or like a focus group testing and peer group and like all this analysis when we should just be messaging to everyone. We should be shouting out everyone, showing everyone they're heard. And that's something Bernie does successfully. I guess it's one of those things where most Americans view themselves as middle class, even if they're poor and lower class. They view themselves as middle class, I guess. So the messaging will be there, but also just appealing to the reality people are facing is huge. I know we choose our wording to be like extremely social justice oriented, and harmful language and dehumanizing language is not good. But some people, I mean, if you go up to a person who has no home, who has no house, or another working class person or whoever, and you're like, no, we call you like they'll hate you. They'll hate you if you use the consultant speak. We have to go where people are a little bit.
The conservatives became something that no one should recognize. They became hateful, racist people, and that's not me. We're here to help everybody.
Former
We're here to help
Republican.
each other. There's no reason in the world to be exclusive of anyone. Who cares who you love? Who cares what color you are? Who cares what your eyes look like? We're supposed to be in this together. And the conservatives are no longer in this together.
And look, it's going to take all of us. It can't just be one side or the other. We're going to have to come together, put our differences aside, and do what's best for the American people.
And all these really dumb commentators, like Destiny, for example, who say that we should not talk about billionaires or the power hierarchies in society because it sounds too progressive or too leftist. I'm not a leftist or progressive. I'm probably progressive in a social democrat way, but in terms of what they mean by progressive online, I'm definitely not aligned with that. But the idea that we should not tell this narrative, because it's a true thing, where these ultra wealthy are breaking the system for capitalists as well. We are not doing nearly enough trust busting, but also just in general. No, and Pete Buttigieg made this point today. No republic has ever stayed a republic. No democracy has ever stayed a democracy. No system has ever maintained itself at the levels of inequality we see in America today, of wealth inequality, because the system becomes, there's too much power in the hands of a few people. That is the main issue right now. I don't care if some people are just like, okay, don't criticize capitalism. You can easily talk about the ultra billionaires that make their money from screwing people over and manipulating the government and financial assets. You can separate them from the entrepreneur class that works for what they do, okay? And actors and all these people that make millions of dollars or maybe even $1 or $2 billion. There's an easy separation to make there. And the policies are what really matters there. Telling that narrative, getting people on the same side. Americans agree across party lines that money should be out of politics. Even if you think it doesn't matter for insider trading, for example, in Congress, it probably should be banned regardless. And it's a really good thing politically. And any politician who votes against removing insider trading or congressional stock trading, you run that against them. The only wedge issues Democrats have is economic, okay? It is managing the economy in a way that could benefit all people. And you need to actually do that if you're going to say it. But that narrative works very well. It works very, very, very well. Anyone who says not to do that is completely, like, their brain's gone. It's just stupid. Pete Buttigieg is just pretty good, man. Bots are the only Trump supporters I know. Thank you, Christine. Probably. Bernie Sanders will be remembered in history, not for what he stood for, revealing a painful truth. Millions were convinced to vote against their own interests, even as one man fought. I don't know. Bernie did not win because of black voters, which is why AOC has a chance to win. And that's not a bad thing. It's just black voters are the base of the party largely. And you can have every other area of the party, but especially with like South Carolina, Bernie's favorability with women and black voters, especially black women, was really bad. AOC is really good in that area though, so AOC can be really successful there. She matches a lot of demographics that Bernie could not get, but that's the reason Bernie lost. There wasn't really anything else. He could have came closer for sure if they weren't trying to ruin his image and doing constant character assassinations. Then it would have been a little bit better. But I saw that Ben Shapiro talked to Zelensky, huh? Zelensky and Ben Shapiro. I don't think that came out yet. Candace Owens was blasting Trump. Is that not voting against their own interests? I mean, it depends how you look at it. Because, I mean, people don't believe anything Bernie talks about can actually get done. There's a cultural connection that matters, of trust. And sometimes it really is just about, like, how much work you do with different communities, with different stakeholders for them to trust you. You could say voting against their own interests the entire time. You could do that, but politics is about connecting to people. You have to get them to trust you first before you pound them with like policies and everything. You have to do the reaching for their hearts first and then go for the policies and everything. But politics is largely that connection, and then trying to back up that connection with the political capital you have, try to get things done for them. A little complicated. Please drop a like on the stream. AOC definitely has a chance. We have a literal brain dead reality TV star who doesn't know how to tie his own shoes as president right now. You know? He was never successful in business. He's really the scum of the entire earth. You know? You have to choose what you're strong at and really pound that home. I think there's a couple good options Democrats can run with. But the idea that AOC cannot be successful but Trump can is insane. Truly insane. Anyone who thinks that is on something, for real, on something crazy. I mean, good for them that they found some good drugs, but holy crap.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. And let me thank the many of you around the country who have attended the Fighting Oligarchy tours that we have been doing over the last 2 months. As you may know, so far, we've been to Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, Colorado, and Arizona. And the turnouts,
What are Pete's odds? I think Pete's way too boring, honestly. I think Pete's way too boring, not gonna lie. He needs someone else to balance it out. I could see him being, I don't know, I just think he's too boring. He'd be really good on podcasts to be like a moderating voice, but I think what's happening right now in America is going to be too fragmented as far as like what's going to survive of democratic norms. And we're going to need an actual mass movement of people. We need someone who's going to get people really inspired and passionate and be able to wield power and influence in a way that's outside of our institutions. And Pete does not do that. Pete cannot get a huge crowd. He cannot. I think he's really impressive in the conversational setting, but I think he should stick to what he's good at. And it's not going to be rallies. It's not going to be leading a campaign. But he could be really good. He doesn't need to be president, though. Oopsies. He should have ran for Michigan or something, honestly.
very happy to tell you, I've been extraordinary. Well over 100,000 people combined have come out.
Everyone should do what they're good at, okay? Everyone should do what they're good at. Whoever wins the primary, hopefully it's someone decent. We'll go with them. It doesn't, yeah.
And Republicans, surprise, surprise, are taking notice. They are quite concerned. Both Trump and Musk have had to respond, and not surprisingly, they've responded with lies.
Is Trump really doing a rally in Michigan, too? Is Trump going to do a rally in Michigan?
Mr. Musk claimed that many of the 34,000
Pete is very milk toast. Thank you for saying milk toast. Milk toast. I wonder how milk toast would take.
people who came out to our Denver rally were paid organizers, and Trump was busy boasting falsely that his turnout.
Such a funny word, a funny phrase, milk toast. Is that an actual meal? Milk toast.
Were
I feel like it's like an old meal,
ours.
like a
Not
Great
quite
Depression meal. You just put milk on toast.
On Saturday, this Saturday, the next phase of the Fighting Oligarchy tour begins. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and I will be starting off in Los Angeles. We'll then
From
be
a little
going
bit ago, AOC and Bernie at the same time. Trump's picks are 100 times he the best. Oh yeah, I had a good line for Pete. You know how Pete Hegseth got the medicine cabinet? It's about how like Pete Hegseth wanted to ban all the trans military members so he can make room for himself. He wanted to put makeup on, look all pretty. Pretty Pete, powdered face, proud boy. Pretty Pete, proud boy. Pretty Pete, proud boy, powdered face. The boys, stunt actor looking. Pete, pretty Hegseth. We got Pistol Pete Buttigieg on our side. We got Pistol Pete Buttigieg. Meanwhile, they got pretty powdered Pete, proud boy. It's so sad. Imagine having to defend Pete Hegseth. Imagine, bro. That's so painful. I'm so sorry for y'all. I'm so sorry y'all got to go through that. Like, he's really just awesome. I love him. They should not fire him. Keep Pete Hegseth around, guys. Keep him around. He's gonna win you the everything. Okay, Pete Hegseth.
Want to say, sir, about this chat controversy?
You know what a big.
Bro. Okay. I'm not gonna say he sounds drunk here, but I'll just say I grew up around a lot of alcoholics, and they sound better than this.
Want to say, sir, about this signal chat controversy?
You know what a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media.
You know that Pete Hegseth hired these people? They were Pete Hegseth's like best friends for years, and he's calling them leakers, random leakers from the Pentagon. They're his best friends, by the way, his best friends. They said they only left because he is gonna make their leader Trump look bad. They left because they said Pete's gonna make Trump look bad. Okay? You're gonna make dear leader look bad. They're Pete's friends he's talking about. Remember that.
A few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax. Won't give back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. And on hoaxes, time and time again. And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous.
This is what the media does. They take anonymous sources, all these hoaxers in Russia, and DEI woke.
From disgruntled former employees.
Employees. I love the kids. I saw this all over social media, bro. I love the kids.
Try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputation.
Employees.
Not going to work with me.
Not going to work with me, buddy.
Changing the Defense Department.
Not so fast.
Putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters. And anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids. Because, this is what we're doing.
With my dad. Dude, he points to the kids, the prized kids, the human shields. He sees the kids. He's like, all right, escape route. This is who we do it for right here. This is who we do. It sounds like it's literally a scene out of The Boys, bro. The Boys TV show. Literally a scene out of it.
Doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids.
My dad.
Because, this is what we're doing it for.
We're doing it for the kids. That's how drunk guys talk, bro. I'm just saying. This is who we do it for. This right here. We do it for them.
This is why we're fighting the fake news media. This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting hoaxsters. This group, this group right here, full of hoaxsters that peddle anonymous sources from leakers with access to grind, and then you put it all together as if it's some news story. And when we know exactly what it is. So I'm really proud of what we're doing.
Yes, bro.
And for the president,
Dad's drunk
hard
again.
Across
he's
the board,
drunk again.
I'm going to go roll some Easter eggs with my kids. Thank you very much.
That was awesome. That's good stuff. I think Republicans should keep Pete Hegseth on the team. He's really good for you. Okay, keep Pete Hegseth on there. He is very good on camera. He's going to help your popularity. Trump's at all-time low approval ratings for Trump, and we got to keep on doing that. So keep Pete Hegseth on board. Love this guy. Love this freaking guy, dude.
The White House maintains...
Holy crap. You're doing great. He is doing great. Is he talking here?
He's major.
I can't believe you got a makeup cabinet installed, bro. A makeup cabinet installed. Why does he need makeup? I thought he's here to do war fighting. Also, I love the insistence in calling it... They have to call it war fighting, right? Why do they need to call it war fighting? It's called the Department of Defense because we're like, hey, we don't want to be war fighters. We don't want to get our people into wars. But we have to call them war fighters now. The anti-war administration. Meanwhile, they're bombing countries all over the globe, threatening to invade Greenland and Mexico and Canada, threatening war with Iran and bombing Yemen constantly. they're war fighters. Why can't we just call them troops or the military? Why can't we just call them defense? Why does it need to be war fighters, dude? War fighters. We're war fighters, dude. It's so sad. So sad, bro. I wonder how people in the military feel when their leader is such a F up, you know? Because the troops right now are being court-martialed for 1/100th of what Pete Hegseth is doing. They're getting arrested, essentially, and thrown into jail for hours or days or weeks or months for doing 1/100th of what Pete Hegseth has done. If any normal person working in the DOD or in the Pentagon did what Hegseth did so far, they would literally be arrested, tried criminally. It's wild, the standards that change when people are just partisan hacks. Covers alcohol. No, oh my God. Covers alcohol nose.
If this was actually about government efficiency, then the problem you would be solving, which is a real problem, is that in the federal government.
Drop a like on the stream. People got to get on Discord. I wish they would get on Discord or something. You know, no one wants to get on Discord. It's hard to get people to talk nowadays. I'm going to have to find some people to debate. I'm going to have to find some other channels to invite on here. It's really hard doing this channel when everyone's so scared to call in. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy, brother. Then I just go through videos randomly. No one's going to talk to me. No one loves me. No one wants to hear about the facts, about the truth. They want to live in La La Land, bro. They want to live in La La Land. Pete Hegseth. Pretty Pete. Proud Boy. Powdered face. Whew, crazy.
It is too hard to reward your top performers. So you could be somebody who could be commanding a multi-million-dollar salary in the private sector, working on something wildly important, but there's just no way that you're getting, you know, you're in.
Who are these people? MAGA is cowardly. They are cowardly. Trump hates America. Oh, Pete looks good with a stash. Ooh, Kev doesn't know anything. If he did, he'd call in. That is true. Kev does not know much. It's okay though. Join the World of Tanks Discord. Trump is the only one with TDS, tiny, you know what syndrome. You are literally La La Land. That's amazing, brother. I'm sorry that you have issues in the bedroom. Try Viagra. It'll help you. Promise.
In your particular pay grade, same as everybody else. Yeah.
How do you know Pete Hegseth is drunk all the time? Do you hear him talking? Do you hear Pete Hegseth when he's talking? You hear Trump when he's talking? Did Trump tell someone to shut up today about egg prices? I'm pretty sure I saw that on Twitter. I'm not sure if it's true. Or he says, like, leave me alone. Wait, leave me alone. Did Trump say leave me alone? There's no way in hell. There's no way.
Started screaming at me that eggs, that I was president. Somebody started screaming at me that eggs are up. I said,
Yeah, so eggs right now are at their all-time high price. Like eggs right now cost more than they have in American history. And I saw Trump say they're down 94%, like 94% price. They're down 94%, but they're still like $5 a dozen, the cheapest I can find. Most are $7 a dozen. Trump said they're at the lowest level of all time, and they're at the highest because reality doesn't matter. Apparently, Donald Trump told someone, leave me alone about egg prices.
That I was president, somebody started screaming at me that eggs are up. I said, I just got here. And in the first week, they were going crazy. You remember that, Linda? Yes. They were going crazy. They're saying, egg prices are too. I said, I'm here for 1 week. Just leave me alone. This is the fake news media.
Leave me alone. Fake news media. He said egg prices are down 94%. Meanwhile, they're at their all-time high. Egg prices are more expensive now than ever before in American history. Leave me alone, the fake news media, as he's lying about basic fact. Remember, the final, most essential command was to not believe the evidence that your own eyeballs are telling you. Whatever 1984 said. George Orwell, by the way, the writer, is a democratic socialist. He's a socialist, a democratic socialist, like Bernie Sanders, the writer of 1984. For anyone that wants to know. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Imagine if a Democrat said, leave me alone about eggs or groceries or whatever. Republicans would start peeing their pants all day. Holy crap. But yeah, Donald Trump, his skin color changed back to pale. The Babylon Bee has been dropping some pretty good memes lately. So they're usually bad, like just right-wing memes, which are terrible. Because right-wing memes are like, haha, woke pronoun, go beta, male, DEI, but this one's actually kind of good. Trump's skin returns to normal human color after ban on artificial dyes. Like, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, we'll take that. We will take that. That one's awesome. Behind closed doors, Pope is still focused, sharp, and energetic. See, that's a Biden meme. I appreciate that. That's a good Biden meme. It's a good Biden meme. Good Biden meme. See, this one's about leftists crying. Tesla dealership disguised as IRS. There's some good ones attacking the right, though. The ones attacking the left are just like husband solemnly informs wife they must do their part to help the nation's failing birth rate. Like, how is this even like funny? Like, all the ones that are making fun of all the ones that make fun of the right wing are so stupid, or I mean the left wing is so stupid. They're so stupid, they're forced. But then the ones making fun of the right wing, it's like Easter Bunny dead after meeting with JD Vance. Like, these are actual, like, that's actually decent. White House tells Americans to reply stop if they no longer wish to receive Hegseth's text about upcoming military strikes. Like, that's another good one. Like, there's some good ones. Whenever they like disagree with their own side, they're funny because it's probably actual funny jokes. But meanwhile, when it's about Democrats, they're just making a political statement. $10, 18 extra large. Another lie, eggs are down. Yeah, dude. I don't have the internet or eyeballs. I cannot go in person to grocery stores anywhere. And we have a lot of farms around here too. So we have farms making their own eggs and selling them, and they're still high because everyone needs to buy eggs now because all the chickens are freaking dead from Trump. Not following the bird flu at all. Trump's approvals in the 44s already, 44. I saw one at 40%. So his approvals are collapsing. So that's pretty good. But yeah, if we don't get any viewers here, I can't really do the stream. Remember that. 44% is still high. Yeah, once we get to the 30s, then we'll be talking. We gotta get to the 30s. Here we go. I'm gonna close out this stream and do like a. We are going up slowly. Maybe if we get a caller soon, it can be okay. Our click through is pretty good, but funny how nobody cares that Ukraine bought Joe with tax money. Wow, I wish that were true. I wish you were not literally brain dead. You child that can't read anything. Holy crap. Do you just believe whatever you hear on the internet? Wait. It looks like the Justice Department intended to file a letter to Judge Lyman and MTA versus Duffy, but accidentally filed a letter containing its legal advice to the Department of Transportation instead. Oh, it's unlikely that Judge Lehman or further courts or review will accept the argument that CPDTP was not a statutorily authorized value pricing pilot under the value pricing pilot program. So that's awesome. The court is unlikely. They sent them a whole list on what the court is going to accept or not, but they sent it to the court. That's awesome, bro. DEI made us incompetent. Okay. DEI made us incompetent. Now we are competent again. Okay. Now we are so competent. Thank God wokeness is gone. Wokeness was killing America. Thank God. Holy crap. This is awesome. This is awesome, bro. This is awesome. Just curious, are you still a barred lawyer? My ethics would not allow me to post something that was obviously filed by mistake and already gone from the docket. Oh, ethics matter right now, dude. Ethics. The president wants to defy law and the Constitution. And we're talking about ethics? We're talking about ethics. Okay. Also, I love this, bro. President Trump signs an executive order to modernize workforce programs, preparing Americans for high-paying, skilled trade jobs, and refocusing youth on career participation or preparation. America first. You realize this is a virtue signal. He's signing a virtue signal. Like, this does nothing. An executive order is like a memo. You're saying you want this to happen. He's done no work at all this entire presidency except to do virtue signals. What does this do? You proclaimed you want something. Great job. You identify as it. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing good. I was just surfing through and I made some comment about the eggs thing, and one of your followers said call in, so I figured, hey, I'll call in.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So this may be a little odd to you. I'm not sure, just based on like the typical internet and political climate. One thing I'm not going to do is pretend that I know everything and that I'm an expert, and that I'm an authority on all this subject matter, which I find to be kind of the normal position of people in our society, especially when we're talking about politics. What I will do, though, is listen to your points, hear you out, and probably push back a little bit on some of my ideas without demanding that I'm right about everything that I say or think. What do you think about that?
Sounds good. Yeah, what do you want to chat about for the main thing?
Well, I just came across your, because now I'm calling on my phone, so I can't see it, but you said Trump hates America, right? That's like your thesis or your argument?
Yeah, I think the only thing Trump likes is himself, but he seems to really not like American values.
Okay. First off, I will say that I'm not like a major Trump supporter. I don't think he's like a wonderful human being. He claims to be a Christian, and I don't see Christian values portrayed from him most of the time. But what my general viewpoint is that what I see from the left and the Democratic Party is just a lack of connection with objective reality. I mean, there's a lot of different, I guess, points that I could make about that, but I guess what I'm getting at is I think a lot of people are not so much supportive of Trump or the Republicans, but they're just tired of the crazy, ridiculous statements, attitudes, and positions of the left.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you can go through some statements from the left. I'll just say, like, for Trump, some ones I could bring up that are kind of crazy are, like, invading Greenland. The idea that egg prices are down 94%. He said gas prices are below $2 when they were the lowest nationwide was $2.70. He said a lot of crazy things. He said that it's Ukraine's fault for fighting Russia when Russia invaded Ukraine. He has a meme coin that he's probably doing the biggest corruption scandal in American history with. But yeah, I guess Democrats do talk about pronouns, but you can tell me what Democrats say that you think is like disconnected or super crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just from the list that you just gave, and like this is an area where I'm assuming you have extensive knowledge or prowess. I mean, you're talking about eggs and gas prices and apparent misinformation. I mean, to me, that sounds very nominal and pretty much on par with any politician we could ever think of. I don't care what president you want to refer to. There's nothing inherently drastic or ridiculous or different, assuming what you're saying is right, because I'll just defer to that being right, which I don't know for sure, but let's just assume it is. How is that even that big of a deal or that different from any politician or any statements that any of them have ever made historically or currently? And to your point about the meme coin, again, something I'm not that familiar with, but let's just assume that you're right about that too. The biggest scandal in American history, I mean, that right there, like, really loses a lot of credibility to any logical thinker.
How do you know? You just admit you don't know about it. How can you make any statements about logic if you don't know about the situation? That seems pretty misguided.
Based on the limited knowledge that I do have. And
well,
I said
it's a untraceable crypto
again,
coin, I'll just tell you one piece of information. It's untraceable crypto coin. He launched it to coincide with his inauguration, and now he's saying there's going to be a special dinner that if you're a top 220 funder of the coin, you're going to be invited to the special dinner with a one-way ticket to the U.S. president. Anyone can donate to this from anywhere in the world, untraceable. And if you get on this special list, apparently you get favorability in our political process. There's no big money scandal, no corruption scandal in American history you can point to that's worth billions and billions and billions of dollars directly to the president profiting from the presidency. And we could talk at a later date about that, but I would ask you to look into that more because it's a big deal. But like, I'll just say, compared to other politicians, you said, you know, anything Trump says is not that much different from other politicians. Trump this term, you know, is crazier than Trump won. Like, he disagrees with his Trump won. Like, right now he's going to battle with the Supreme Court and the Constitution. His own justices he appointed, all three of them are voting against him, and he's saying they're liberal Marxist judges. It's just like he disagrees with himself. He's even crazier than Trump number one. So I don't even know what you can make a point of there.
What was the last thing? You don't even know what?
What you can make a point of, if he views his first term as not nearly radical enough, if he thinks the Supreme Court is Marxists that are against him and they have judicial tyranny, there is no one I could even point to that would ever like go against his own appointees that drastically. It just seems like he's pretty unhinged.
Okay, I'm willing to entertain this. I mean, there's a number of people that I'm friends with in my family that seem to be thoroughly against him in general. Again, on a personal level, his personality doesn't really jive with me. I don't see the humility that I would hope for, amongst a number of other things. So I'm open to these ideas, but what other than your claims about him having apparent misinformation on eggs and gas prices, and according to you, this massive scandal on a crypto coin or whatever that I will look into, and hopefully once I do, we can follow up about it. What about him? Why is he so diabolical to you? Why does he hate America so bad beyond apparent misinformation about eggs and gas and your viewpoint that he's got a scandal going on with his cryptocurrency? And how are those things or other things that you would postulate about the situation vastly different from any other of our corrupt politicians or presidents?
Well, he wants to send U.S. citizens to El Salvador for prison, which I'm pretty sure is the worst thing any president has done in probably over 200 years. He wants to violate due process. He says the Supreme Court's 9-0 ruling is in his favor when it's completely against him. And it's not even just a lie.
He's one at a time, because otherwise, what's the point? So he wants to send American citizens to prison in El Salvador.
Yeah.
That was the first point.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Do you want to give like context as to why this is such a diabolical decision, or the details? Because it's a very general statement.
Because if a president wants to bypass all of our laws to send U.S. citizens to a labor camp in El Salvador and then wash his hands of the situation, saying it's a foreign policy issue, it violates everything America stands for. It opens the door for targeting political opponents, putting them in a position that's, you can't recover from. Yeah, if you're going to violate laws to that extent where you need to pay El Salvador to take American citizens, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard for me to argue at this point, because it's hard to even fathom that an American would be okay with a president saying that. But I mean, we could talk about also the Supreme Court.
If there's context that just inherently using another country's prison system objectively in and of itself doesn't sound, what that in and of itself does not sound necessarily terrible to me. Prisons are terrible in general. If someone goes to prison in a justified sense, whether they're on American soil or El Salvadorian soil or somewhere else, without any other context or detail, that doesn't necessarily sound inherently bad. What is inherently bad about the prison being in a different country is my question.
Well, there is no law for exiling people or deporting citizens. That's one thing for crimes, especially to a labor camp in El Salvador, which it's a labor camp. You're there for your entire life. It's essentially slavery. It is slavery by definition. You're there. You're tortured until you basically bleed out or die or starve to death. And yeah, just a U.S. president saying we're going to deport American citizens. I'm not okay with them sending immigrants there, even criminal immigrants. I don't know why we'd pay another country and send our dollars to El Salvador instead of paying Americans. And like yeah, I just think it's bad for a president to it's just not lawful at all. And sending American citizens there again, it gives the US government the power to target people and to ship them off to a different country for prison. It just has such enormous potential for abuse and authoritarian overreach. A president even wanting to do that, even Trump's like most ardent supporters are speaking out against that. I think only 5 to 10% of Americans agree with it, and that's a good thing. It might be 20% because Trump runs a mini cult. But yeah, it's a huge abuse of office, and yeah, and any president to even suggest that, any other president other than Trump would be impeached. He would have been removed from office for saying that alone versus the other 500 things.
Okay, because I was aware of the deportations of apparently like gang members and things like this. I was not aware of actual American citizens. Who are they? Do you have any names of at least any of them? Like, who are these
He just
people?
said he wants to. He told El Salvador to build more prisons to take citizens. And like they already violated laws. That's why that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is in the news, because they violated a legal order to not send him to El Salvador. So if they can violate the laws for that person, they can violate the laws for anyone.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but we're just talking about a theoretical possibility of something that he said he wants to do, but has not actually done any of it.
I don't know. How can I?
Right? I mean, that's what you just said. I mean, he's literally just
It's
saying...
bad that he's telling El Salvador, which takes money from the U.S. government, to build prisons for U.S. citizens. Yes, it's bad that he's doing that to tell them to build labor camps for U.S. citizens. That's like no president, and I think in history, whether it's 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, would have been okay with that. Our country was founded on the king in England doing that to people, which is why we left and why we wrote the Declaration of Independence. It's in our Declaration of Independence that the king would send people to foreign jails without due process, and that's in our Declaration of Independence for a reason. When the president is talking about that, when he's already violating due process and he's sending immigrants and calling them gang members without any proof, and he's sending them to El Salvador labor camps, it's just like it's hard for me to. You don't think that's bad? Like the stuff he's already doing with the immigrants, or
if what you were saying it were a reality and all of those details and context were actually happening, then I think you would have a leg to stand on, and I might actually concur. But if you're talking about something that the guy said and none of it has actually even happened, and then some of your follow-up context saying things like there's no actual proof, I mean, anyone on here, even people that agree with you, knows that that's absolutely not true. The people that he's deported, there's obviously, maybe there's been some mistakes, or maybe he was wrong about some of it.
You know the numbers by chance of the of not even deportations, but like, okay, so for example, only 25% of the people sent to the El Salvador labor camp have criminal records. We knowingly sent a gay barber there who was seeking asylum. We sent a professional soccer player there who went through the legal process to seek asylum in the U.S. after being electrically tortured by Venezuela. He made it to America. ICE wrongly sent him to El Salvador. We lost a 19-year-old there that they accidentally took. So there have been numerous cases, and you just have a gap in knowledge here. And like the Kilmar Abrego Garcia, there's still no proof of him being in a gang. Trump's own DOJ in 2019 could not confirm that he was a member of a gang. That's why they let him. That's why they let him stay here. And also, sending him to El Salvador was illegal, flatly illegal. Trump's own administration admit it was illegal. There was a legal order to not send him to specifically El Salvador for any reason, let alone a labor camp. So that was flatly illegal. And the thinking is, okay, the argument the Trump administration made was once they deport someone or once they abduct someone and send them to this labor camp in El Salvador, they said it's beyond their control. They said this person can now stay in El Salvador no matter what, because now it's a foreign policy matter. He's under the control of El Salvador. So if they can illegally violate due process, illegally violate court orders to send like an immigrant there and just say they're a terrorist based off of nothing, the legal precedent that they are arguing would allow them to do the same thing to American citizens. And Trump is already doing illegal things. That the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that he's violating due process, and they ruled 9-0 that he needs to facilitate their facilitate the return of the Kilmar Abrego Garcia guy. But Trump thinks they ruled 9-0 in his favor because he's a senile old asshole.
Okay. So, I mean, you're right about the gap in knowledge, but the specific thing that I mentioned, I think what I was saying is to make a blanket statement that regarding all of the people that have been deported, that there's no proof of wrongdoing.
I didn't say all. I said there are people being sent there that there is no proof. There's multiple people we know are innocent, who are not gang members, who are fleeing gang violence, that were sent there. We know that for a fact. And the Trump administration has lied about all of them, saying they're gang members, illegal terrorists, MS-13, rapists, child abusers, wife beaters, whatever, to demonize their characters, to say it's okay. And even if they were, by the way, even if they were, them not having even a second in front of even an immigration judge, it is still a huge problem with due process. And like an immigration judge is different from a judge that would send you to a labor camp in El Salvador. So even if immigration courts are less of a threshold to deport someone, sending someone to a labor camp in El Salvador should be a much higher standard of due process. And Trump violated it. Again, Supreme Court agrees, 9-0, even Trump's own justices, even the very conservative Alito and Thomas. So yeah, and Trump has laughed at their court order, or Trump has laughed at them so far, and has already violated multiple court orders. They've called for like dissolving the Supreme Court. Like it's a lot of bad stuff that's happened already. The U.S. government has been doing a lot of bad things on behalf of Trump with the Alien Enemies Act.
Okay, so it did sound like you said that what I said you said earlier, but what you're saying is no, that some of the people actually are criminals. Some of them have actually done some pretty atrocious things. I don't know, things like rape, murder, the list goes on. And then some of them maybe haven't. Some of them maybe are innocent, and this experience has come down on them improperly. So it sounds like some of both. I guess my question to you would be, what do you propose his motive is? Why is he doing these terrible things from your viewpoint? What does he gain out of that?
There's one thing someone added in chat. There are kids right now being forced to see a judge with no lawyer or no parents. So that's the thing to Google too. A bunch of kids that have zero representation. They have to represent themselves in court. As far as Trump's motivation, I think he's a very power hungry person. He wants control. He has complimented the Russia. He's complimented the Chinese Communist Party. He has complimented North Korea for ruling over the people with an iron fist. He has always fantasized about being more of a dictator type. He has said things that are like, at least, he said he wants to make America more like El Salvador and more like Hungary. They said this during the campaign. And he loves abusing people. He loves controlling people. He loves manipulating people. He wants as much power as humanly possible. So I think that's Trump's motivation. I think he loves being a special boy on the chair everyone can congratulate. That's why they need to all give him like a foot rub whenever they talk to him. But yeah, I
think you sort of fulfill some of those things when you become the president. I think he's sort of fulfilled. I mean, I'm not arguing maybe he is some sort of narcissist or egomaniac, but when you become a multi-billionaire, when you become a president, I don't think that, sending innocent people to El Salvador really adds much. So
it does add more, because once you get rich, you need more of a high. That's why P. Diddy does his parties. That's why Jeffrey Epstein did his stuff, because powerful people want to use more power, and they want to find more power, typically. Many of them do. Whether it's new business, whether it's with new women, whether it's with whoever. So like the idea that powerful people, and Trump, who spent his entire life cheating on his wives and forcing his friends' wives to have sex with him and fantasizing about having sex with his own daughter on camera, on TV shows and stuff, like the fact that that person who chased nothing but gluttony and casinos, and he wants to build a casino in Palestine, he calls it a real estate opportunity. The fact that person would not want more power is frankly insane.
Well, I'm not saying he doesn't want more power. I'm just saying you psychoanalyzing this person that you've never met, you've never spoke to. I'm guessing you don't have professional credentials to do so. And that being the basis of your argument for his motive, I think to me comes off more personal and emotional and sort of trying to intellectualize.
I'm sorry, but you have given me 0 arguments and 0 facts this entire conversation. You just sound like someone who's just waiting along in the wind right now. Like you have nothing to bring me. You have no ideas that are backed up by any fact. You're saying that I'm emotional and that I have points that are disconnected from reality. You're the most disconnected from reality person I've ever talked to. Like you need to do some work to improve yourself. Like no, you need to do some work to improve yourself. You sound like a very unintelligent person who just has not done the work at all. You have to do the work.
Why are you getting?
Because you need to do some work. I'm sick of people not taking any personal responsibility, not doing the work. I'm sick of people sounding like idiots when they're not idiots. Do some work and educate yourself. You have to figure this shit out because you have to know some of it or this country's going to go to shit. If you care about this country, educate yourself. It's really sad. It's pathetic.
Dude, take a deep breath, man. Take a deep breath.
It's pathetic. No, my country is falling apart because of people like you. You need to do some work. I need you to help pull your weight. Pull your damn weight. You have nothing. You have 0 facts to bring me. Pull your damn weight. If you have a political opinion, have some facts with you.
Listen, I can pull up any sort of statistics that I want, and I can use them to fortify my own narrative the way that you are. So me talking to you like a normal human being and not just another robot.
No, you sound like a robot.
Look,
I feel like I'm talking to ChatGPT. You don't have facts on you. No, because you don't. Okay, name one thing. Name one policy you like from Trump.
Dude, I can take 5 seconds right now and Google anything I want.
Name one policy you like from Trump. Name one policy you like from Trump.
How about you let me speak for a second?
Okay, name one policy you like from Trump.
30 seconds straight on a personal attack.
Okay, you don't have to whine. Just tell me what you like about Trump. Name one policy. You're continuing to whine. I'm letting you talk. Stop whining. Stop whining. Stop whining. Bro, stop crying. You came unprepared. Stop crying.
Whining while
stop crying, bro. Talk. It's your turn to talk. Talk. Stop crying.
You're interrupting.
You're projecting. Okay, talk. It's your turn.
So stop and let me speak.
Mm-hmm.
So before you sort of got a little unhinged because something I said rubbed you the wrong way, which I think it was something about being emotional. What I'm telling you is pulling up so-called statistics or facts, as you put it, that I can pull up on a Google search or ChatGPT in 5 seconds and regurgitate them does not somehow make my position any more valid.
Okay, I'm going to close my eyes. Name one policy from Trump you like. I'm going to close my eyes so I can't Google anything. Okay, name one policy you like from Trump.
I will do it when I'm finished making my point.
Can you stop being such a whiner, bro? Like, seriously, name something you like about Trump. Name something you like. Name one policy. Name one policy. Name one policy. Name one anything.
You are not in control of my speech. You don't tell me.
You're such a baby. Stop crying. You're not in control of my speech. What do you think this is? Stop crying. Tell me what you like. Tell me a policy you like about Trump.
What I say and when I say.
Dude, I'm not trying to control you. I'm asking you to have a conversation with me like an adult.
I'm trying.
Stop crying. You're such a whiny baby. Shut up. Name one policy you like from Trump.
You're not, dude. You're not gonna.
You're such a cry. Can you stop crying? Can you stop crying? Stop crying. It's okay. Just tell me one policy you like from Trump. Name one fact. Name one policy. I'll close my eyes. Name one policy.
Interrupt all you want. It's not going to throw me off.
You're not saying anything. Name one policy that you like from Trump. Name one thing. Name one thing he did that you like.
A policy when I'm ready to and when I want to.
Oh, that's so sweet. I have to. Okay, when you're ready. When you're ready, honey. When you're ready, honey.
If you're going to interrupt and be volatile and emotional, then I'm not going to continue the dialogue.
Because you don't know a policy. You don't know one thing Trump did good because you're emotional. You don't know anything about any of this shit.
How about this? I'll list 10 of them, but I will do it when I want to, not when you demand that I do.
Are you a communist? Are you a communist?
No.
You sound like the most woke communist from a college campus I ever spoke to. You have all feelings, no fact. But can you get to one thing that affects the real world?
Don't allow me to speak. You want to try to control my
Again, you
speech.
sound like a communist on a college campus. You sound like a dumb, whiny, woke protester. Name a fact about the real world, brother. I'm trying to have a real conversation. People are dying out here. People are losing their homes. People are losing jobs. I want to know what policies affect the real world.
Give me an opportunity to speak, or we can.
Because you're whining. You're whining. Just name a policy that affects the real world. Okay, I'll give you a chance. Name some stuff that affects the real world. Okay, name some stuff about the real world that Trump is doing, and we can talk about it.
Or are we going to end the conversation? I got like 5 to 10 more seconds for that opportunity, or I'm going to.
You're even going to count down? Woke
just-
schooled. Oh my goodness.
Are you or not? I will assume that you will. If you interrupt again, then I'm just going to end it. I think what happened is I'm trying to have a normal human conversation with someone. I think it's perfectly fine that we don't see things exactly eye to eye. If you have a certain style of communication that you believe that citing specific statistics or quote unquote facts is somehow more compelling and that's what you believe in and that works for you, that's fine. I can do that to the extent I want to and when I want to, but my point was calling into you to have a human conversation, two people talking, sharing some of their perspectives, trading some ideas, analyzing it a bit and seeing where we might be able to possibly see some things eye to eye. But getting into this sort of like childish debate and personal attacks, when you're talking about why our country is going to hell, this is exactly why. Because
you're an offended baby? That's why?
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Like that's a personal attack.
I want to talk about policies that are affecting people. You just want to talk about the conversation. Like name something about the real world. That's what the show's about.
Okay. So let me do a quick Google search.
No, you should have a policy on mind that you like or don't like about someone. Like what policies do you not like from Democrats? Just name one.
I should do exactly what I'm doing. Which, by the way, I'm not even like a big Trump supporter. Dude, you gotta mature, man. You're talking about being a baby. You're like laughing and doing.
Bro, if you keep on crying about the conversation, I want to talk about the real world politics and how it affects people. Bring up one thing about the real world.
Hey,
there's people that need help out here.
Shut your mouth and listen.
Oh, shut your mouth and listen.
Job Act 2017 reduced corporate tax from 35% to 21%, created opportunity zones to attract investment.
Am I talking to an AI bot right now? Are you an AI bot?
Oh my God, dude. I literally just said I was going to Google search it for you. No, you don't want to have a conversation. You just want to be right.
You are reading a web page. I want to talk to you. You are reading off a web page. You are literally reading off a web page.
I came into the conversation and said, I don't have this shit memorized.
Then why argue about this stuff? Or why call in to talk about this stuff you don't know about?
You want to regurgitate trivial information that you believe is so-called fact.
I'm a policy expert. I know about policy. I'm a literal trained I am trained in policy. Like I am
very well trained by any means.
I'm not just saying random stats. I'm saying real world stats affecting people. I'm sorry that it makes you upset to talk about those, but just do some homework. It's fine. I believe in you.
Asked for, and then you tried to attack me and invalidate me because
okay. Just before I go, like you are really amazing, okay? And you have your fun conversations, and if you don't have any problems that affect you from politics, don't talk about it. Just go have a fun life. Like you obviously have a very pampered background, and if you don't have any political issues you could bring up that you like about a politician that you don't like about Democrats or Republicans, you should have something that affects you. Or you're just in politics as a spectator. Go watch ESPN, bro. You have the ESPN level commentary because it affects you as much as sports do. Go read up the Shannon Sharp scandal. Okay, someone else. Like, that's actually kind of sad, bro. I thought you wanted to have a conversation. Let me read from the webpage. The Tax and Jobs Act from 2017 is a policy that lowered... It's like... That's not even a conversation. It's just a... I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. It smells like straight cow shit outside, bro. It smells like straight cow shit. Holy, oh my god, it smells so bad outside. Holy crap. Oh my god. Hello. Howdy.
Quite frankly, I don't like that you don't like me. I don't know why you don't like me. You don't like me because I'm friends with Elon and it makes you mad.
You're my whole world. Okay. 1 second. I'm restarting the YouTube Shorts. Hopefully we get some viewers. 1 second. Let me restart the YouTube Shorts. I have 2 streams going. YouTube Shorts, a horizontal stream on the same channel. Jolah Talks Politics. I'm gonna redo the YouTube Shorts, see if we get more viewers. You can call in if you're waiting to call in. Call in 2 seconds. But yeah, let's try this. See this. Let's try it.